Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I am very excited about this week's podcast. I was a little late sharing the podcast on all my socials from last week's podcast. So I recently put that up on all my socials, pretty much just, I guess not all of them, just Instagram and Facebook, so feel free to go check that out, even though this week's podcast will be coming out right on Wednesday. Today, I am excited about last week's podcast as well, so if you didn't catch that, please go check it out right after this. And I talk about like where I'm at in the Lord. Maybe something will resonate. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will help. Maybe it won't. Who knows? Maybe it's just fun to listen to while you're cleaning or whatnot. But please go ahead and listen. And I hope that you're able to subscribe. And please share this podcast and leave a review. That would be amazing. But today, I am talking about what to do when you go to Mount Rushmore. Maybe you go to Mount Rushmore. Maybe you've already been to Mount Rushmore. Maybe, of course I'm yawning already. I'm so sorry. Maybe you are going to Mount Rushmore or the Black Hills this summer. And if you are, you can, put a tab in, like listen to it now and then come back and listen to it right before you go. Yeah. So I'm going to be talking about all the things that you should or should not do in the Black Hills. I'm mostly going to be talking about things that you should do or maybe check out. There are a few things in here where I'm like, don't go here. If you see it when you're in the Black Hills, don't go there. It's a waste of time and money, and it's not good, okay? So, but you can always just still try them, even if I say I don't like them. Maybe you will like them. I'm just saying I don't recommend them. And I've been to the Black Hills quite a bit, and Mount Rushmore. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. Okay, so the first thing you should do is go to Mount Rushmore. I actually kind of put those things lower on the list, but I am going to, I have a list here, so I'm going to cross that one off. But yeah, go to Mount Rushmore when you go to Mount Rushmore. Go to Mount Rushmore when you go to the Black Hills. I think going to Mount Rushmore and hearing all that there is to talk about, like that they share about Mount Rushmore, is so amazing, so incredible. Like when you first walk in, as you walk up, you can see like there's lots of like statues, and then they have flags. Like every flag, I think it's all the United States flags. And then farther in, they have flags from all over the world, I want to say. Or maybe it's just all flags of other states. I think it's world flags once you're closer to Mount Rushmore, to the actual monument. But lining it when you walk up towards it, they have like state flags, which is really cool. And then on the left, you'll have your like gift shop, which usually people go after seeing Mount Rushmore. And then on the right, they have like a food court. You can get coffee if you go early in the morning. The coffee is like 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. But I mean, if you need coffee, you need coffee. And I think I got like a mocha frappe or mocha frappe or I think I got a mocha frappe one time I was there. And I got an almond latte, I think I got an almond latte. They do not have matcha, or they didn't last year in 2022. So I'm not sure if they do in 2023 yet. I haven't been there this year, but I go every year. So, and the food is like 4 or 5 out of 10. But if you're super hungry, go for it. It is what it is. I don't recommend the fries, but if you're hungry, again, bring your own food maybe. You'll be better with like snacks and stuff, and it's way cheaper, and their food's not great. But if you have to, you have to. A lot of people like to get their ice cream. I've actually never got the ice cream, so can't help you there. So next, there's lots of places to sit. So you walk in and they have the flags of the world, like kind of, you walk a little bit further in and they're kind of like in a U shape. And then you keep walking up and you can like take an elevator or some stairs to go downstairs to the museum. There's like a walk-through museum, and they have like a theater where they're showing different, a story about Mount Rushmore. And there's bathrooms downstairs when you're there. But then if you don't go downstairs and you just go straight forward, you'll walk right up to Mount Rushmore. And down the stairs, you'll go to like an auditorium that they built. I'm not sure if it was when Donald Trump was there and they built a stage. I'm not sure if they already had it, or I heard that they built a stage when he came. So I've only seen it the year that Trump was there. That's when I started going all the time. So I'm not sure if they had that before, but I know they were building it in 2020. That stage area was not there during COVID. They were building it. So yeah, I guess they did build it for Trump. Maybe they didn't build it for Trump, but they did build it for Trump. Because he did the fireworks there. Anyways. I highly recommend going to the night show at 8 p.m. They do a light show where they like have this whole like talk, and they're like building up the story of Mount Rushmore, and then it's at 8 p.m. and it's dark out, and then they put the lights, or they light up Mount Rushmore. So it's dark out and then they light it up, and it's this whole dramatic show, and it's like super patriotic about our founding fathers and where our country was founded and how Mount Rushmore came to be, and it's super, super patriotic. Such a good, authentic American tale, and still patriotic. It's hard to find really, really patriotic things these days. I feel like people like water it down or like get it all woke and stuff. So super good. Highly, highly recommend. Do the night show when you go. Even if you go during the day, which I suggest going during the day, and then come again. It's only $10 to go to Mount Rushmore, so highly recommend just going to the night show. And then go in the morning too. And they have lots of trails, like 2 trails from 2 different directions. If you go to the right down the trail, you'll go down lots of stairs, and then you'll come to the Borglum story, and there's a guy always explaining how they carved Mount Rushmore and the tools that they used and the people that did it and how it all came to be. And they have a mini replica down there. So it's so cool, so interesting. And if you come in the summer, you get to go inside and it's cooler in there. So that's nice. Or if it's cold when you go, it's warmer in there. So it's kind of a nice break. And then you walk upstairs if you went to the right, and there's like a fireplace. There's just a halfway point where people will like eat food. Like there's nowhere to buy food, but you can sit. And there's bathrooms, and then there's like an outdoor fireplace, so you can like warm up. And then you can keep walking upstairs, and then you'll get to like right under the head's nose. So there's all the heads' noses, like you're like right up under their heads, so you can like see up their nose. And so that's the closest you can get to Mount Rushmore. We always joke, like, I'm pretty sure there are people watching if you go off the trail to stop you, because it says don't leave the trail anywhere because it's a monument, whatever. And there is like this cave area where it's like a little hole in a cave wall that you can see Mount Rushmore. I don't know why they make it a big deal, but it's not really that big of a deal, but it's something fun and weird. Yeah, and then you come back around and it loops back to the other side of, it loops around to the other side of where you were looking at Mount Rushmore up high. So, anyways, that's Mount Rushmore. The gift shop's really awesome. I really love it. I have a lot of souvenirs from Mount Rushmore gift shop. Love it, love it. Lots of cool things in there. Highly recommend at least looking through because there's really cool stuff. Yes. I am just writing these down. Okay, so next thing I recommend is to do Rush Mountain. So Rush Mountain is let's see. Rush Mountain is an area where it's like a mini theme park. They have like a high ropes course where you're up high, but I never did that, so I don't know. I went later in the season and it was done, retired for the season, like late in September or something. So I never got to do it, or it was raining that day, something like that. But we did do the zip line. You sit in this big contraption. I give it a 2 out of 10, not that great. But if you get the ticket, like if you get to try like everything, I mean, I wouldn't recommend buying it, but if you really want to do it, it's fine, but it's not like super fun. The ropes course, like I said, I didn't do. There's a roller coaster where you get to decide how fast you go and you're in complete control of it, which is crazy that you get to control it. Like, how do they, they just trust you not to run into each other, which I think is insane. We did it. I did it, and I give it a 9 out of 10 because you can really go fast. It feels like you're gonna fly off because you control how fast and when and where and la la la. So that was pretty wild. There's this VR room where you like shoot. You can pick like zombies or cowboys or whatever, you have to shoot them. I give the VR a 0 out of 10. Don't recommend buying it. Half the guns didn't work, so you didn't get to even play. Like, other people shot, and my gun didn't work, and multiple other people's guns didn't work, which, yeah, stupid. 0 out of 10, don't recommend. Yeah, and then there's a cave, which I've never done because I had a baby that was younger. Everest was like, I don't know, 8-9 months. 10 months maybe at the time, so I didn't get to do it. None of us did it. We didn't have enough time, so I can't really highly recommend, but I've heard other people do it and it's pretty cool. So yeah, that's Rush Mountain. Fun. Let's see. I would recommend, there is another high ropes course, and I would definitely, that's not connected to Rush Mountain. And what is that called? It's, I forget what it's called. So I'm gonna see, I'm gonna see if I can find it. What is it called? I'm looking. I'm sorry, I'm so quiet. I'm trying to see what it's called. I kind of blanking on it right now, what it's called. Anyways, it's like the Tramway Adventures. Rushmore Tramway Adventures. Yeah, so there's like a high ropes course, which is super fun to do. And I hurt my wrist at the time. I had like mom thumb from holding Everest so much, and my wrist and my thumb and my hand was super sore, and I hurt my wrist really, really bad, but it was so much fun. Highly recommend, like, starting at the lower courses like yellow and then do green and then do blue and go up, and it gets really, really hard and really, really freaky. I'm going to do it again this summer when my wrist isn't hurting. Actually, yeah, so I highly recommend that. They have a gondola that you can go. I give the high ropes course 9 out of 10. So much fun. The gondola is like a 6 out of 10. It's kind of like relaxing and fun. You're up super high and you just kind of go up like a ski lift, kind of, basically. So that's really fun, relaxing. You're not strapped in like in a ski rope. You're just there and there's a little bar around you, but you're up super high. You can take a roller coaster down. I give that 6 out of 10. It's like the other one. You can control how fast or slow you go, but it's not as like roller coastery as the one at Rush Mountain. The one at Rush Mountain is way better. But the roller coaster down at the tramway is all right. I would give it a 5 out of 10. You can do this thing called bungee jump, and I would say that's 5 out of 10. It's pretty thrilling. I don't know how high you are, like 50 feet in the air, and then you just jump straight down and you just don't hit the ground. You know, it's just really thrilling. It's like a bungee jump, 50 feet up, and I'd give that a 5 out of 10. You can do a zip line that's like, I don't know, half a mile or something. Quarter of a mile maybe, something like that. And that was like super high and super thrilling and scary. I would give that a 9 out of 10. That was really crazy and so high, and I've never done anything like that before. Super fun, 9 out of 10 for sure. So there is this coffee shop that I highly, highly recommend, 10 out of 10. It's called Grapes and Grinds, and that's in Keystone, right before you get to Mount Rushmore. So if you do go to Mount Rushmore, the coffee at Mount Rushmore sucks, but you can bring coffee. So I would highly recommend, if you're at a hotel in the area, or if you're in Hill City, or if you're in Custer or Rapid City, stop at Grapes and Grinds and then make your way up to Mount Rushmore. I promise you, you will not be disappointed with the coffee that you get there. And if you do, it's probably an off day for somebody, or they're brand new. If it's the beginning of the season, they're getting new people all the time. So, but if you go to Grapes and Grinds, they have like a park there, like a mini park with a slide and some swings and a tire swing, and then a bunch of sand and stuff to climb on, like a tree house for kids to play on. And then they have like life-size chess you can play. They have bags. They have foosball. They have like mini fireplaces everywhere if you're there in the evening. So that, I love that all the kids can run around and play and do all those different things while you're drinking your coffee, or if you just want to break in between something, if you're doing other things and you just want to break to come and chill. Or they have like really, really nummy gelato. You can get gelato, or their frappes are decent. Their coffee is so good. Their matcha is amazing. Yeah. And they have lots of like fun gifts, like Mount Rushmore, Grapes and Grinds, like souvenirs. I highly recommend. Their souvenirs are way better than like Mount Rushmore's, or they're like really fun. So behind Grapes and Grinds, there's mini golf, and the mini golf is like 9 out of 10. Super fun, 18 holes, super challenging, super fun. I love to play mini golf there. So there is a presidential museum that's right there by Grapes and Grinds. I actually have never done the museum, so I can't rate it, but I hear it's really, really cool and very informational. And then they also have souvenirs that are really, really cool, that are similar to Grapes and Grinds. Okay, so Michelle's Tacos. It's like a eyesore of Keystone and Mount Rushmore area. The food is horrible at Michelle's Tacos. Do not go. 0 out of 10, negative 10 out of 10, negative 10 out of 10. Horrible, 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 not fun, not good, horrible atmosphere, horrible service. The food is horrible. Yeah, just don't go. Don't waste your time, don't waste your money. Go somewhere else, anywhere else. Okay? Bear Country. Super fun. Definitely recommend. Yeah, I highly recommend going at 3 p.m. because that's when they feed the bears and the wolves. So the bears get super active and fight each other for food and running around, like running right past your vehicle to get the food. So super fun. The bears get super active around 3 p.m. or I think they do it at, I'm not sure what time in the morning, noon or 10, something like that. They'll feed them again in the morning, but I don't know what time in the morning, but I know 3 p.m. is the best time. In the afternoon, and they have like, so Bear Country is like you pay for per person to go through. It's like $14 or something per person, and then you drive through with your car in the actual animal's habitat, right? In there where they live, and your car drives right through it. And like elk and bear and timber wolves walk right past your car. Bear and wolves, I already said this, but like crazy. They're like rub up against your car. They're that close. You always have to keep your window reeled up. I've seen people roll them down. I'm like, you're crazy. But you're supposed to have your window up the whole time, and the animals are just like used to your car driving through, which is so crazy. I don't even know how they got them adjusted to that, but I guess they did. I don't know. I highly recommend Reptile Gardens for something fun to do. It's all reptiles, hence the name. And one thing that they do that's really fun there is you can pet these big tortoise. They're like huge, and you can go into where they live in their natural habitat, and they walk around loose, and you can just come up and pet them and give them a neck rub, foot massage, whatever, rub their shell or their necks or their head, and they're super chill, don't care, they like it. You can also feed the alligators, which I thought was so much fun. The guys will, like, the zookeepers will, like, put chicken on this rope, on this rod, fishing rod, and then you feed all these alligators and crocodiles. Crazy. There's lots of, like, snake shows and alligator shows. Definitely recommend you get, like, the times, of, like, when to go to the shows, because those shows are so funny and so interesting, and you learn so much. And it's super, super fun, and so, I don't know, it's just really great. Highly recommend. The snakes can kind of be boring. The spiders are kind of boring. But, it's fun to see how big, like the anaconda and the boa constrictor, those are, like, fun snakes. Yeah, there's lots of other stuff you can explore there. They have a gift shop as well, which is really big and huge and fun. So highly recommend that. Let's see. I would recommend you could go to Horse Thief Lake or Lake Sylvan. Sylvan Lake is, like, really, really beautiful. I highly recommend Sylvan Lake more. It's a state park, so you have to pay to get in. But Sylvan is good. What am I thinking? Horse Thief, Sylvan. Sylvan's okay, actually. I'm thinking of a different lake. I can't. I'm thinking of another lake that I'm blanking on. But Sylvan is a good lake, and Horse Thief too. So I definitely recommend those. You can go to, like, good time photo. There's like old time photos and there's old time photos. There's a couple different like photo places where you dress up like in the olden days, like cowboy times, and you dress up and it's like a black and white photo. Super fun. We do this every year when we go. Dolls chainsaw art, like you can't miss it. Like when you drive in, you see the largest Bigfoot ever. Definitely recommend you like take a walk through. It's just so cool to see all the chainsaw art that they have of all the sculptures of like bears and eagles and elephants, this kind of thing. Super fun, super fun to look at. Let's see. There is a candy shop that's like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's crazy. It's crazy to see all the candy. They have like chocolate covered bacon or they have like every kind of jelly bean, every kind of taffy. They have all the M&Ms. They have every kind of popcorn. Like once I got dill cheddar popcorn, I think. So good. Highly recommend that. They have like weird different pops, like sodas that are like the craziest flavors. Like a whole wall of just different kinds of sodas. They have coffee there. You can also get coffee, like gourmet coffee, which is really good, or ice cream. You can get chocolate covered anything. They have the craziest things covered in chocolate. Pickles covered in chocolate, bacon covered in chocolate, jalapenos covered in chocolate, marshmallows, strawberries. They have lots of fudge. They have random kinds of gummies. They have all the like old type of candies, like in your mom and pop like cabin towns, like that kind of old time candy. They have new candy like Sour Patch Kids, all that stuff. Yeah. So definitely recommend the candy shop. If you ever go to like get food, I might recommend in Keystone, Ruby something house. You'll know what I'm talking about if you look it up. It's really fun. They have like all these like crazy, like all these photos and old time, like, what do you call it? I don't know, paraphernalia from like the 1800s all up on the walls, and it's beautiful and very antique, old, that time, looking esque. It looks like the 1800s or whatever in there. And the food is super good. I definitely recommend getting the bourbon glazed ribeye. So good. 10 out of 10. Such a good ribeye. Definitely recommend that. But if you go into Rapid City, I would recommend going to Sicky's Garage. It's just like a burger joint. Sumo Sushi if you want sushi in Rapid. Or Fuji's like 6 out of 10, 5, 6. Sumo Sushi is like 7, 8 out of 10. You can walk up and down the main strip in Keystone. There's lots of gift shops and fudge shops, ice cream shops, coffee shops, gift shops. Like there's like a general store there, kind of. There's pizza parlors. Cruiser's Pizza is super good. Do not get Boss's. Boss's is okay for like pasta. It's okay for pasta. Boss's is normally pizza, but their pizza's not that great. Cruiser's is way better, and it's upstairs and it's kind of hidden, and you wouldn't normally see it, but you would see Boss's first. But I don't recommend Boss's for pizza. If you want pizza, go to Cruiser's for pizza. You will not be sorry. There's also in the main strip in Keystone, there is a, like, it's upstairs, and it's kind of like a random opening in the wall. It kind of reminds me of like a food truck, but it's in the wall, and it's just like a random opening with random room there in the wall, and they have really good Indian tacos. Indian tacos, if you don't know what that is, it's like a Native American thing that was created by Native Americans. It's like fried bread and then all the taco fixings. Super, super good. Oh, so good. Definitely recommend that. Their cheese curds there are good, and nachos are pretty good. Most of the things they have in that little thing upstairs is pretty good. And it's nice to be able to like look over the bar, like not bar, but it's like a bar stool like thing that you can look up over and watch all of Keystone while you eat your food. And so that's really fun to do. People watch and eat your food. So if you go to Hill City, which is a neighboring town of Keystone, which is right by also Mount Rushmore, if you were staying there, I definitely recommend going to Alpine Inn. They have this amazing food there. For dinners, it's always the same. You get like a steak or pasta as your meal, and then there's different sides and fixings, but that's the main thing they serve. But at lunch, they have like a huge variety of food, but their dinner is pretty good. It's like a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, you know. We go there for birthdays a lot. And their salads is like a salad wedge with like dressing on it. So good. That's the first time I've ever seen someone give like a salad, but it was a salad wedge. Super good. Their ranch is amazing. And I don't ever normally get ranch, but their ranch is sublime, I'm telling you. All the gift shops, they have like fudge shops in Hill City, but I feel like they have some really unique like Mountaineer REI type like stores there. Lots of really unique gift shops there, which I think the gift shops in Hill City are better than the ones in Keystone. So I definitely recommend going to Hill City for gifts and like Black Hills, Mount Rushmore paraphernalia rather than Keystone. So I definitely recommend going to Deadwood if you're in the Black Hills area. Deadwood is like an hour away or so from Mount Rushmore. But Deadwood has like all these casinos. They have a lot like more food. There's just always like live music going on. There's all these events. I feel like there's so much more to look at in Deadwood. Deadwood is like a much more lively city, even though it's called Deadwood. There's a lot more going on all the time, and it's bigger and more beautiful, and casinos are fun. So definitely recommend Deadwood. My friend ran a marathon in Deadwood last year, so we got to go and visit for a little bit there. Okay, so I have heard about the Jewel Cave, and I heard it's super fun. I have not been, so I can't rate it, but I definitely hear it's some good things about it. There is a train in town that you can take a train ride from Keystone to Hill City. I only recommend going one way, so, you know, one person drive their car to Hill City if you have two people, like 2 cars, and then drop off one car and then drive down and then go get your car and drive back, or take a cab or an Uber or something like that. I don't know if they even have those out there. But I recommend going one way. But if you can't, you can only go 2 ways. It's kind of long and it's kind of boring 2 ways, but one way is really cool. It's a train from the 18th century, which is really, 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 really amazing. And the tour itself isn't that great, but it's just fun being on a train like that. Let's see. Is there anything else that I missed? There's kind of like Well, I mean, I have been to like the glass blowing of Hill City, Black Hills. It's not that great. It wasn't that all that it was. Somebody told me it was cracked up to be. But it is something to do. Big Thunder, Gold Mine. No, Big Thunder. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Is a good place for burgers if you want food. The Borglum story, I hear, I've never done it. I will do it this summer, but I hear that is really, really cool. It's like a place in that area where you can hear the whole story. I think I'm going to do that this summer of like how Mount Rushmore came to be. Yeah. So, let's see. I think that is about, if you go to Custer, you can feed the animals. Like if you get carrots, you can feed them. Yeah, I'm thinking that's about it. For Keystone. There are a lot of other things. There's always like a Subway and a Dairy Queen there if you just want like something quick. They do have that. In Rapid City, they have a bunch more places to eat, which all of which are below average. Whatever. So, anyways, I think that is all I have for you. If you are in the Keystone area around September, I highly recommend going to the balloon launch. It's a bunch of hot air balloons. I think it's like in the beginning of September. You'd probably have to look it up like on Facebook, but they do have it. And it's such a cool experience to be there at that time. They launch a ton of hot air balloons right from the ground. It's such a beautiful thing to see. You have to get there early in the morning, like 6 a.m., right when the sun comes up. But, it's beautiful. There is a tourist information, like a building where they have like a bathroom right when you get into Keystone. And there's all these pamphlets and stuff. Highly recommend visiting that if you have no idea what to do and you don't know. But yeah. Anyways, that is all I have for you. I'm getting sleepy. And I will talk to you next time. Thanks for listening. Please leave a review. And good night. Next. So you can go to Deadwood. And Deadwood is a super, exciting town for this area. It has, in the summer, they'll have, live music. They have casinos. They have lots of shops. It's, a much bigger town than, the Keystone, Hill City area. But it's not as big as Rapid City. But Rapid City is, more modern town. Whereas, Keystone, Hill City, Custer, Deadwood is, old school town, where all the buildings are connected and it looks like an old western town. That's the feel of Deadwood. They have lots of gift shops, lots of good restaurants. Which restaurants I am not going to be able to tell you. What else? There's just a lot going on in that area. They do have it's Ruby's, I don't know, it's a bar and grill, and it's really, really good in Deadwood. Oh my gosh, it's a car one. It's kind of like a 50s diner type, 50s, 60s diner. It's really good. The food is super good. Yeah, I can't think of the name at the moment. So next, There is something called the Jewel Cave. I've actually never done it, so I'm not sure that I can tell you about that. I'm trying to think. So you can go, you have to set up your time ahead of time, but you need to be there. So you can only buy the tickets the day of when they're at the cave. You can't buy them in advance, which is super annoying, but you have to be there. So you have to get there like 2 hours early or super early to get your tickets, and then you have to wait around for your time. So if you get there, like, I am so sorry about yawning. If you get there at like 7 a.m., but your tickets aren't for like 11, then you have to like go and come back, which is super unfortunate. Poor unfortunate souls. So sad. Anyways, yeah, it's unfortunate. But apparently the Jewel Cave is amazing. I've heard really great things. Highly recommend, although I've never been myself. And there's lots of tours. The Jewel Cave is like the biggest cave, I want to say, in the world, and they have not discovered all of it. Like, it goes on and on and on forever, for like miles and miles and miles, and they haven't figured it out. They haven't like reached the end yet. It's like super long. It's crazy long. That's very interesting. Next, there are these old time photos where it's like old Western, and you dress up and you look like you're in the olden times in a Western. You can be like a diner girl. You could be like a wench. You could be like a lady that's all dressed to the nines, like super fancy. You could be, I don't know, they have like all like bottles of whiskey. They have like fake bottles of liquor and lots of different fake guns, prop guns. They have like everything you need, and like you wear a fan or like a feather in your hair, like on a headband. Like they did like flappers, I think, like just old 18th century type stuff. So cute. Really fun. So much fun to dress up and do that. So I highly recommend you and your family. Oh, I'm so sorry. Doing that. Highly recommend. Super fun. And it's going to be really hard for you to pick out the pictures that you actually want to keep, because there's a million and they're a little pricey, but worth the memory, I'm telling you. And let's see. The gift shops are in all these like towns. So much fun. There's a million of them, so you'll be able to spend lots of time finding like the perfect, Black Hills, Mount Rushmore, whatever souvenir for your trip. There's lots going on and lots to see. Oh, of course I'm yawning. I didn't realize how late it was. Yeah, highly recommend the gift shop. Gift shops, there's like a million of them. You'll see them. And every city you go to, they all have gift shops, which is crazy, but funny. Definitely check those out. There's a train ride from the 1800s, and it literally feels like you're in it. But I think it's just really fun and cute. And I highly recommend going just one way, like 2 ways. If you do there and back, it is so boring to do both. It's just too much time, unless you have like a lunch and you're bringing it, and because you don't really have enough time to like go buy food, like when to like go buy food and in the next town you stop at, and then bring the food back on the train. You just don't have enough time. So, and it's not that fun. We see it once, it's like you've seen it every single time. So I highly recommend someone in your group driving a car over to the city that it the train ends at, and then driving back once you get there. I mean, do whatever you want, but we did, when we went, we did it twice, and it was not the bee's knees. All right, well, I think that's all for today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a review and subscribe. Comment anything you want, and I hope this was very helpful for your future trip to Mount Rushmore. Bye-bye. See you next week.